Hi, everyone. It's Jean Sachs. I'm the CEO of Living Beyond Breast Cancer. And first and foremost, I hope you're all safe and doing well and staying as calm as possible. Today, I am talking to Marisa from New Jersey. Hi, Marisa.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Marisa is a young woman, 36 years old, who is in the middle of treatment for ER-positive breast cancer. She also has three children, twins that are 7 and a 1-year-old. And she was gracious enough to carve out a little bit of time to talk to us about what it's like to be in treatment in the time of COVID-19. So Marisa, please start by telling us about when you started treatment.
So I was diagnosed in August. I had a lumpectomy in November and a bilateral mastectomy in January. My doctors did not think I was going to need chemotherapy because I caught everything really fast and quickly. But my oncotype score came back as a 25. So they encouraged me to do chemotherapy because of my age as a preventative measure. So I was scheduled to start March 3rd, but I actually was on the Living Beyond Breast Cancer Facebook page, and I connected with a woman who is in my exact same situation, and she really encouraged me to get more opinions. So I did, and I'm so thankful that I did because I ended up reducing 2 treatments based off of, these three other doctors I met with. But anyway, so at that point I was scheduled to start March 16th. And March 16th was when everyone started shutting down. All of the states were shutting down, the schools, everything was closing. And I, at the meantime, was also going to be cold capping. So I needed to make sure I was getting my cold capping equipment in time, but also didn't want to pay for it if I wasn't going to be using it yet. And it was just extremely stressful. So I talked to my oncologist and we decided that I would wait 14 days. We would quarantine for 14 days and make sure no one in my family had the coronavirus. And then I would begin treatment. And so I started on March 30th. And I just had my second treatment this past Monday, which was April 20th. And I have 2 more left to go.
Okay, so just hold on for a minute. So tell me first, okay, what drugs are you taking?
Taxotere and Cytoxan.
Okay. And you have a total of 4 treatments?
Correct.
Spaced every 3 weeks or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what you did to sort of protect yourself from getting the virus, knowing you would be immune compromised.
Well, it's extremely stressful because you're in normal life, just, this is a terrible time to be in this world. And then having to go through chemotherapy on top of it just makes it so much worse. And I was really I was trying not to be, reading a lot on Facebook or reading, the news and staying informed, but not being too crazy. So we were having groceries delivered to our porch. We would wipe them down. We would not leave. I have certain family members that go to the store for us. I was doing delivery, ShopRite deliveries, things like that. And my close circle, like my mother and my mother-in-law have to be here to take care of my kids when we go to treatment. So they're also completely quarantining as well. And so we will get them deliveries and try and, make sure that none of us are going anywhere. So that is something that is just, I was telling myself, I asked my oncologist, should I wait until this is over? And, that is not the recommendation. They want you to do it closer to surgery. This can last, really long, months, and they don't know what's going to happen. So the recommendation is still to continue to power through. And so with that, I just decided I said to myself, how can I get this if I don't go anywhere except the treatment center with the mask on, with gloves on, and I just got to trust God and just know that it's going to be okay.
Yes, I think you're doing all the right things.
Yeah.
So when you go for treatment, are you able to bring someone with you or are you by yourself?
So thankfully, because I'm cold capping, they are allowing my husband to come with me because he has to cold cap me. But that would not be the case if I wasn't cold capping. And it's a very strict protocol. You have to have, his name has to be on the list. They take everyone's temperatures. Everybody gets screened with questions at every stop that you make, check in, then with this doctor, then with that. You get all the questions like 4 or 5 times. So everyone's wearing masks. There's cleaning people constantly coming around, cleaning the doors, cleaning, doorknobs, things like that, walls and stuff like that.
Okay. So I think it's amazing that your doctors have allowed you to continue doing cold caps, I assume you're using the gel caps, right? Or are you using a scalp cooling?
The scalp cooling, yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Like the
And
manual ones that you put on.
right. And so
Yeah.
how much extra time does that add to your treatment?
It's a long day. It's a lot. You have to start capping an hour before treatment begins. So while they're doing your pre-medications, that's when we start. And then you have to cap for 4 hours after. So when we leave, we actually just do it in the car. We drive around for 4 hours because my children don't know anything that's going on in my life. So I'm really trying hard to keep it that way, just because they're so little and I just don't feel like they need to know at this point. So we drive around for 4 hours and cap, and I'm exhausted. I'm falling asleep and it hurts, and but I'm trying really hard to save what I can. So.
Okay, wow, that is a lot. I can just
Yeah.
imagine you guys driving around with the cap on.
Well, it's hard because we can't really go anywhere either because everyone's quarantined.
I know. Are you having success with the cold cap? I see your beautiful hair.
I would say yes and no. I had a lot more hair. It's difficult, but I had a lot of thick curly hair, so it's different than the normal person who has straight hair. And so it's been a lot of work on my end. I have to really make sure I don't have any knots, and it's time consuming and it's tedious, but I mean, I'm not giving up. So I'm just going to continue to power through it. Hopefully I can save as much as I can.
Yeah. Well, I think it looks to me like you're doing well. And with 2 treatments left, I think you should feel pretty good that you might have thinning, but not lose it.
Yeah.
I think that's optimistic. And I hope for people listening that if not losing your hair is part of something that's very important to you, to persist. And was your oncologist open to that, or did you have to push for it?
Oh no, they had no pushback on that at all.
That's great. So I just want to cover a few more issues. How are you keeping in touch with your doctor during this time?
So after my first appointment, we just had a phone call to follow up on, my side effects. And that was pretty much it. If I had any issues, I could just call them, that was it. This time around, he said, we don't need to have another appointment. So unless I have to call him for any reason, but that's it. I just go there on my treatment day and I'm done. Okay.
And how have the nurses been in the hospital?
They've been great. I'm actually not going to a hospital. It's actually like an infusion center, doctor's office. So that actually also makes me feel a lot better as well, because it's not a lot of people are in this building. But everyone has really been so wonderful and accommodating for the cold capping as well, because I know there's other places that aren't allowing that, and that is just hard.
Yeah. So we talked about the fact that you have 3 children that are young. So give us a sense of how you're managing in the house with them. And it sounds like you're not sharing the details of your breast cancer.
I feel happy, I guess, about it, because my kids give me all of the strength and that I need and to overcome everything. So I really when they're here and they're around me and we're doing whatever we're doing, I'm present with them. I'm not focused on anything breast cancer related. Honestly, it's just totally, I can live, I can be with them. And so not sharing with them is part of that. It's a way, it's an outlet for me, I guess, that I can just be myself and not have that breast cancer, over my head 24/7. So that's part of it. But the other part is I just don't want them to worry, because they're so little and so innocent and they don't understand. And I'm going to be okay, thank God. So I just feel there's no reason. And that's another reason why I'm cold capping, because I really want to make sure that I keep all the normalcy I can for them.
I mean, kids can be a great distraction, and this is an uncertain time anyway. So I can understand why you're trying to keep things as normal as possible.
Yeah.
I know that you made the decision to have your in-laws also self-quarantine and be really careful, so you have help with the children. Is that right?
Yeah. For my first round, I just had my mother that came and stayed with the kids while my husband and I went to treatment. And so she quarantined, and, she was not going anywhere. And that first week was really hard for me. I was down a lot. I was in bed for a couple of days, and it was hard. A lot of it was anxiety because I didn't know what I was going to feel. I didn't know what the side effects would be. And it was very emotional. It was depressing. It was really hard. And it's the worst time, no one wants to go through this. And so my husband was amazing, and he, was homeschooling our children, he's a teacher. He was doing his students, and taking care of our 1-year-old that's running around, making dinner. And it was a lot. So this time around, I said, I think it would be better if, someone could come in just like one night and help him like make dinner or something, because the next couple days is usually, last time is when I didn't feel well. So I'm anticipating the next 3 days, I'm going to be down for a little while.
Yeah.
So it's really, in a normal circumstance, I would have so much help. I had, with my bilateral mastectomy, I had meals every night delivered from family and friends. So in this circumstance, I know that that's what I would have had, but it's just a different world we're living in. So I'm just, if I can get 1 or 2 people like my mom and his mom to come over and help, it will be huge.
Yeah. Well, I think it's really important that you shared that, because we know there are so many women facing that now who normally would have a huge circle of friends,
Right.
and those friends just can't help in the same way.
Exactly.
So I just want to end by maybe asking you one other question, which is, what are you doing to take care of yourself? This is so stressful and for everybody, and it's extra stressful for you. So what tips do you have?
I mean, I guess the things that have been most supportive for me at this moment is the connections that I know it sounds like crazy, but all of the connections that I've found on Facebook, whether it be the Living Beyond Breast Cancer Facebook page for young women, that has been like incredible. Or there's a cold tapping support group that has also been incredible, and I've connected with women that had like me and that give me tips. And so I would say that has been a huge support in helping me with just getting through it. But the other thing I would say is, just after my week of not feeling well, then I feel great for 2 weeks, and I'm just back with my kids, and I'm being myself, and I'm cleaning the house, and I'm doing laundry, and I'm making dinner, and it's just back to, so I'm just trying to balance, I guess. You have to feel terrible, you have to go through it, and then you're back to feeling okay.
Yeah. Well, Marisa, thank you so much. And we are all thinking about you, and we will be thinking about you in the coming weeks. And I hope you continue to do well and, get to that end where you can say the treatment's behind me and I can now focus on other things. I think your experience will be so helpful to other people. So as Marisa said,
thank you.
Living Beyond Breast Cancer has closed Facebook pages. We have one for young women, and we have another one for all stages and all ages. So if anyone is interested in joining, just go to our website, lbbc.org, and we'd be happy to include you in, and also continue to monitor our website. We are always updating our content. So thank you, Marisa. Take good care, and we'll stay in touch.
Okay, thank you.